good number, okay? 3 is a magical number. Oh my gosh. I'm just looking for one of the best images to represent the next game that we're going to have. I won't spoil it for you because I don't want to, you know? It would be rude if I spoiled everything for you, you know? Just like your mother probably wouldn't be buying you ice cream every single day because 1, you'd get fat, and then 2, it just isn't what mothers do, you know? They're not here to make you... Well, they're here to make you a little fat, but, you know, not in general making you obese, okay? Obesity is not what mothers... Well, some mothers do. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe your mother just crams food down your mouth, and I don't know about it, okay? Nobody ever told me your mother was going to be like that. You know what? I think now is a sweet time because we've got 8 minutes until the match. Let's do our video.
1, 2, Kusogrand for you. 3, 4, because here's 1 more. 5, 6, could be ball and sticks. 7, 8, let's draw on Sunday. 9, 10, Goose is back again.
Welcome to Fright Night. For real.
I hope you've all been sufficiently spooked, okay? Because we've got our spooky game. Our spooky game is coming up right now. Now, of course, I think everybody is pretty excited because recurring nightmares, you know, previous games that we've had in the various tournaments are coming back to haunt people's lives. Oh, these sounds, they're beautiful. Wow, this is inspiring music. So, we were talking the last couple days about who we want to have do the game, and Mike Uyama was kind enough to offer today, or to choose the game. And you know, Mike has some very particular choices about games. Today's choice, of course, is going to be Last Battle. I'm the only one who can save this world. How does Ark save the world? Wow. Okay, inspiring dialogue right here. But you know it's going to be a good match when you have Chrouya going up against GreenZSaber. You know, both have done particularly well in the tournament. And it's exciting to see how they're going to be doing in this game. I still love that Essentia got to play this. It was just beautiful seeing her go through this. So, wow, you recognize the graphics? I'm not already dead, okay?
Hello?
Hello, Mike.
Hello, Essentia.
Hey, thank you for willing to get in sort of last minute. But, you know, we can always deal with a little bit more Genesis in our lives. And we've got Genesis today.
Yeah, well, you know, this is a bit last minute, so I wasn't too sure what to pick, and so this is a bit self-indulgent because last time I picked this, I thought someone was going to make it to the second stage, but no one made it to the second stage. So but now we're on the bracket stage, so we have the best of the best or the best of the worst, and we're gonna see if someone can actually make it to the second chapter this time.
It's okay, self-indulgence. I think that's the whole reason we do this. I mean, that's why I do Kusogrand3, okay? To make myself happy and to have a blast. So don't feel bad, Mike. Just come and enjoy the pain. I like that someone's name in this game is Arzark. Because it seems like...
Arzak. And what's really strange about this game is that this is originally in Japan's Hokuto no Ken, or as we know in the States, Fist of the North Star. Yep. And that was a very popular manga and anime in Japan in the late 80s, early 90s. And this is actually the second half of it, which is the much less popular half.
Really?
For various reasons. And I don't know if it was a licensing issue or because back in the late 80s, early 90s, and I know this is a very foreign concept to some of you, people thought that anime style drawings and, you know, just even referencing anime was too foreign for Western audiences.
Get right out of town. Yeah, who would ever expect that? I don't know. It's just like Japan had a lot of preconceived notions about the American market when it came to video games. And, you know, some of them were probably right. They thought that games were too difficult for us, so they'd water them down because they're like, oh, the poor Americans, they're just going to struggle. And then, I guess, well, now...
Yeah, so there's actually not too much of a difference between this version and the Japanese version. The Japanese version has blood and their heads explode, which actually makes it slightly slower because the death animations are longer. But other than that, there's no real differences with difficulty or anything of the sort.
Uh-huh. Good to know. Good. It won't be more... It won't be easier for them. That's always good to know. Just struggle through it. Well, this game is definitely a little rough around the edges, I would say. It's... I just love the kick, okay? The kick is what makes this.
I mean, every game is better with can kicks. Oh, and I think GreenZSaber said that he would do the audio.
Okay. Sweet. Let me go ahead and turn GreenZSaber's audio up. Yeah, Chrouya, GreenZSaber.
He's in the lore dump section, so you're not going to hear any audio. So the game actually tells you the entire story of the game, including the ending. If you just read this ridiculous lore dump that it just dumps on you at the beginning of the game, it's like 10 paragraphs long.
So much. Oh my gosh. Garrick. The most
and instead of the Hokuto no Shinken, you know, the North Star God Fist, it's Arzak uses Jet Kwon-Do.
Jet Kwon-Do. You know, I'd rather have Rex Kwon-Do personally. I live like half an hour away from where they filmed, what's it called? Napoleon Dynamite, you know?
That was I thought that was filmed in Idaho, or was it actually filmed in Utah?
I'm right by the border of Idaho.
Yeah, so the big thing about this game is that I did give them the manual, so they know about powering up, and they technically know the controls, although the manual actually gets some of the controls wrong.
Oh, always a good sign, you know? Only the best manuals.
Yeah, it says to jump higher, you press the D button up and press C button at the same time. Pretty sure that does not exist. It says press B and C simultaneously to perform a scissor kick in the air. I think what they meant is that you hit B after you're in the air to do the scissor kick. So it's like not even really that accurate. Because I guess the playtesters of this game couldn't really stand playing it themselves.
Okay, hey, the audio sounds good.
And like Mickey and Minnie Mouse, I did give them a continue code.
Good.
The reason why is because this game is already really unfair and brutal. I'm not going to go over it until I'm sure that both players start because I want to make sure they're not listening.
Good. Oh, by the way, did we have a mod change the game title in Twitch? Feel free to do that if it hasn't been changed. Thank you. Cadis, you are excellent. Honestly, such a huge help. And I appreciate you for being here, Mike. We're going to have a rocking good time. Chrouya is currently typing. GreenZSaber is ready. It looks like Chrouya is as well.
Alright, so the reason why I gave them a continue code is that what they will learn pretty soon is that this game only has one life.
I'm not starting the timer until they begin, which, by the way, I'm doing the countdown. Wish them the best of luck, because we are getting to a roll-in time. A roll-in time, they're not going to roll at all. They're going to strut. As soon as I see movement in a stage, I will start our timer. And there we go, GreenZSaber.
Yep, there, GreenZSabers go. So I did give them continue code because there's only one life in this game. And they will be losing a lot of lives in this game because, while nothing really does a lot of damage until the bosses, things just continually chip away at you.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really repetitive, and you really do need to kill, like, pretty much every enemy in the game, because you can see that little red bar is increasing ever so slowly as it kills more and more enemies.
Yes. And that red bar is really important when you go to the boss.
Yes, you needed to hit the first dot for the first chapter. You needed to hit each dot per chapter until it maxes out in chapter 4.
Now, Chrouya is taking on one of the bosses here, GreenZSaber.
Yeah, this guy is not required, and he does a good job of zoning you out, and there's no block button in this game. It looks like you're playing Street Fighter, but unlike, you know, any decent fighting game, there's no blocking in this game. So boss fights consist a lot of baiting out their pokes and then getting in there with a punch, and that is the first game over.
Oh boy.
I told them there's a continue code. I also told them it doesn't work until they get to chapter 2.
If we get to chapter 2, I'll be so excited.
So GreenZSaber is taking the most quote-unquote direct route, but there's actually a slower route because it's going through the dungeon section. Now let's see how long it takes him to figure out that you can actually move faster in the dungeon sections. He just got it right there, but I'm not sure he realized what he did.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, so the way the dungeon sections works, other than having many garages filled with spear-toting enemies, which is actually a good way to restore your health, because it's one of the only ways to restore your health in this game, is that you can move faster in the dungeon stages. If you do a neutral jump in place and then you hit the directions, then you'll move faster. And if you're wondering, why did they do this? Well, why did they make this game in the first place?
Yeah, good point. Figuring that out is going to be super important to get through the dungeon, by the way, because it's very difficult to make any of the jumps otherwise. Now, you speedrun this game. You're doing this for Big Bad Game-a-thon, right?
Speedrun is a very loose term. I never want to really speedrun it. In fact, this is probably the game I wanted to least get in Big Bad Game-a-thon, but you all chose it.
Well, too bad. I like it too much.
I guess I'll play it. And I made the estimate super forgiving because there's a chance I could just game over really badly in the final chapters. Like, if I don't die, I'll be more than 10 minutes below estimate, and if I die twice, then I'll be, like, barely under estimate.
Whatever.
Like, this is a game that I would never want to submit to GDQ, because I think it would be too boring to watch if someone's good at it. And GreenZSaber's having some trouble with the falling daggers. He doesn't seem to realize that you can actually just punch them or kick them out of the way once they've fallen into the ground. He hasn't really been using and taking advantage of the can kick, which is deceptively good because it has a really big hitbox. And the axes. They spawn randomly, they're just all over the place, and they can combo you. And if one axe hits the wall, and if you happen to be next to it in the wall, then you can get hit repeatedly by that axe. There are infinite combos in this game, and you don't have access to any of them, but the enemies do.
Okay, luckily Chrouya has the look of a hero. They're opting to go a different route. That's probably a good idea at this time. See what your options are to get through this first chapter.
Yep. Yeah, and while the manual does have the map screen, and I can even link the manual in chat since I gave it to the players.
Do it.
Just don't actually like say things in the manual because I don't know how thoroughly players read the manual.
Yeah. So the difficulty with manuals is that sometimes they have some good information that is very subtle. And that could be the case with some stuff. No.
Yes. So Chapter 1 has Western Area, the Wilderness, Hulk's Area, Prison Entrance, Quiet Village, Rebels Prison, Southern Area, Butcher's Area, and Eternal Plain. So you have no clue what any of that means until you actually go there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chrouya is fighting this boss. This boss will throw these balls in a predetermined pattern. You can kick them. Jumping over them is a little more efficient for a speedrun technique, and when he spits that little like wavy flame right there, it's he's invincible, so you can't hit him during that.
I love the firewalls here, by the way. They're terrible.
Yeah, so there is one advantage to what GreenZSaber is doing. If he makes it to the end of this stage, which is a big if, he will actually restore all of his health. Awesome. Okay.
Oh yeah,
made it.
GreenZSaber was figuring out the jump, by the way.
Yeah, he did figure out the jump, and now he's going to try it in a future stage, and he's going to be very sad when he can't. This is very bad. He got to the boss without being powered up, which means he can't jump over that fireball.
He's so dead.
He is really dead.
Just everybody.
And he just got poked, and he can't jump over that fireball.
Now, the boss has a set pattern, right?
No, the bosses have AI tendencies. For example, he'll always throw that fireball early into the fight. And generally when he gets close, he'll poke you. But I've had fights where he's only thrown the fireball once and done nothing else. I've had fights where he's done like 4 or 5 moves before you're able to beat him. The 2 best ways to defeat him are get fairly close to him, about a step away, and then he usually like hops towards you, and then you punch him. That works if you're both powered up and unpowered up. The problem is if you're not powered up, you'll do less damage to him. You'll take more damage. You can't jump over the fireball, and you just risk not being able to complete the fight. So that even in a speed run, you basically want to power up before this boss. The other thing is that if you get powered up, your jump kick becomes very powerful, and you can just kind of go into a jump kick pattern to beat him.
I like Chrouya's idea. They're going after Green Hulk Hogan, which actually helps build up some of your power meter, right?
It does. So you can't see it, but each hit you get in this fight does build up your power meter. So this does help you build up your power meter, and you do get some of your health back after defeating a boss.
The music in this boss is so nonchalant.
You know what's funny about this game? Most Genesis music is like really great, like Sonic, Technosoft games, Konami games like Rocket Knight Adventure, or it's like super terrible, like 90% of Western developed Genesis games.
Yeah.
But this game manages the amazing feat of being neither really great or neither really bad. It's just kind of mediocre.
Kind of surprising. Like, it's fine. If I heard this music in the game, I'd be like, okay, it's video game music. I'm not going to remember it in the morning, but, it's here. But this works really, like, honestly, if I heard this music just on the TV in the background for a retro game, that would be cool.
Yeah. So, Panzer Dave looked at the manual and said they should have followed step 1 of the loading manual, which is make sure the power switch is off.
Oh, I love it. I do love some of the manual is a little bit Englishy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this is pre-Sonic Sega, so this is before they really hired Tom Kalinska and had like kind of an established Sega of US staff and started developing their own games.
Yeah.
Before Sonic, it was mostly Madden, Joe Montana. There are a couple of games like Shinobi and stuff, and some arcade ports, like Altered Beast, but like nothing really mega popular until Sonic came around. Well, the football games were also quite popular, but
That ninja just comboed Chrouya, just jumping on their head. I love
so
it.
Fortunately, both of them, because Chrouya was kind of going for speedrun strats initially, but I think he realized that you take way too much damage doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Chrouya gonna go next?
Yeah, so you can backtrack if you want to.
Do you go through the stage again?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
If it's a boss you already beat, you don't have to fight anyone. So GreenZSaber's doing the dungeon again.
It's not a terrible idea because you'd be able to power up.
Exactly. And what you really, really want to do is power up before the boss.
I don't think they really know the power up at this point because neither of them have successfully powered up. But GreenZSaber is getting relatively close.
Yes. The big thing is that in dungeons, there's nothing to really power up on except these enemies that you get in the garages.
Yes.
Now, there is an exploit you can do with the garages, because once you use a garage, it's technically done. But if you manage to make it down or back up to that floor again, you can reuse the garage again. And Chrouya is having some trouble with the green boss. They actually recolored all the sprites for the US version, at least all the boss sprites, and I'm not sure why.
That's weird.
And there's still quote-unquote blood in the US version. It's just like green or yellow when you see it.
Chrouya got so close. So close. Yeah, GreenZSaber is still not aware that you can kick or punch the axes, and most projectiles you can actually hit. As soon as they figure that out, the dungeon's going to be a lot easier.
Oh yeah, so you're Kenshiro, master of the, the North Star God Fist. Except, this last battle and you're Arzak and you're the only one who can save the world. There's actually something interesting to note. Aside from the name changes, the translation's pretty much spot on. The Japanese game text is just as basic as the US text.
That's beautiful.
So aside from the story and the names, pretty much everything is the same. Oh no, GreenZSaber. Okay, good. He only got hit by one axe. That was very fortunate.
He could have been comboed there.
Because if he jumped, he would have been comboed for a lot of damage. So I hope this time, if GreenZSaber is not powered up, he goes to a different stage before the boss, but I'm not sure if he'll do that.
The flying scissors.
And just to note, there are 4 chapters, and while that boss is the end of chapter 1, each chapter gets longer and longer, and some of them have invisible triggers on what to do, and GreenZSaber got comboed pretty hard there.
Okay, Chrouya is trying out different moves for this boss. I think that's a good idea. It helps you see what your options are and see if any of them are better.
Yeah, unfortunately, your options are so limited in this game.
Yeah.
So...
Especially until you power up.
Exactly. So you're really just trying to bait out attacks and then hit the boss. Now here's the thing. While GreenZSaber is technically ahead, he's not very far ahead. Both players can make it to the boss easily. It's really either who can make more progress on the boss or who can actually beat the boss that matters. And while GreenZSaber is definitely ahead at the moment, Chrouya, I think, is doing a good job of kind of learning what works against the bosses.
Yeah, it's going to be super important to have
yes, Team Murdoch, this is one of my Big Bad Gameathon entries. In fact, one of my other ones, Avoid the Noid, was we had it last week.
Oh, baby, that was...
Yeah.
I love that game.
it's a pretty special game. Okay, GreenZSaber made it to... Okay, good. He chose that stage. That's a smart play.
Good. He's going to be able to power up.
He will power up unless he somehow gets through the stage without killing enemies, which is pretty much impossible. Although those sword guys are giving him a bit of trouble, but he's going to get the power up in about 1 or 2 more enemies. Or not, because that bar is really deceptive. Oh no, he didn't get the power up!
No!
I don't think you can get the power up until you kill a boss. Actually can't repeat the dungeons. The game won't let you.
Oh, okay.
You just get this screen, and then you do it again. What he wants to do is he wants to go back down. Okay, or he's going up.
That will work.
That will work. I think he's just trying to explore his options here. And he's powered up. That's good. That gives him a chance against the boss. And as you can see, when you're powered up, your attacks get way more powerful, get much better hitboxes. And if you do the jump kick, it's pretty much the best move in the game.
There we go. GreenZSaber is powered up. And yeah, this will make a huge difference. I know, your shirt just flies off. It's so good.
I mean, that's what happens when you have so many muscles.
All like 20 of them. So many muscles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's trying the whole backwards walk. That doesn't work. You gotta walk all the way to the end of the screen. now he should fight the boss, because he probably knows that that's what he has to do. Or maybe not. Chrouya is also having some trouble with the knives. I hope he learns how to punch them away or kick them away.
Chrouya has figured out the jump, though.
That's good. Because that jump is actually absolutely necessary to cross over those pits.
You can do it without the jump, but it's like pixel perfect in some cases.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's very, very difficult if you don't have if you're not using the jump. What am I thinking about? It looks like GreenZSaber is probably gonna get close to the boss. Ooh, it got extra defensive skill there. That'll help.
Oh, he went to the yeah, it's not technically a secret area, but it's a hard to access area. And I didn't know you could get defensive power there, because it just takes so long to get there.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised. GreenZSaber definitely has the right idea, though. So I hope GreenZSaber goes to the boss now, because the only thing that can happen now is that he can lose more health before he fights the boss. Unless he decides to fight the mini boss on bottom, but he'll more likely lose more health trying to fight it for the first time because he won't know the boss's pattern at all. So I think it would be a losing situation for him. So I hope he goes to the boss. Now, I did see some people mentioning Fist of the North Star or Hope to No Ken games. He really doesn't like that boss. Like, he really just does not want to fight that boss. Oh, yeah. I think he's going to try to get to the next power level.
Yeah, but the thing is, the power levels are per stage. Like, what happens is that that meter remains for the next stage, but he needs to make it to the next stop for Chapter 2. That's all that it signifies. Like, you can never get more powerful than this.
It's already pretty powerful. Look at that triple punch.
I know, and he's just... all the enemies are flying away, and, you know...
I wish I could do a triple punch like that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And if he ever pressed the B button, he would do a triple kick.
Ooh. Oh, he's going to the boss.
Oh, that's the mini boss. Yeah.
That's a mini boss, dude. A green guy. Oh my gosh, those combos.
Yep. He's pretty much gonna be even at health if he doesn't take any more damage. He took more damage. So, although he is doing a lot of damage to this boss. That's the one good thing.
Whoa! And the boss exploded.
Yep. In the Japanese version, that's a red puddle of blood. So it's interesting to note that people were mentioning Fist of the North Star games, and many of them are bad. There's a ton of bad games for the Famicom and Super Famicom. There's a lot of RPGs. Like, there's at least 2 or 3 RPGs, and apparently they're all really bad. There's a fighting game or 2 for the Super Famicom. Those are also bad and don't seem to run at more than like 20 or 30 frames per second. There was one game that was released for the US NES. It's called Fist of the North Star, but it's actually based on Fist of the North Star 2, ironically. So in Japan, it's Hokuto no Ken 2, but in the US, it's just Fist of the North Star.
Chrouya is actually doing really well against this mini boss, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
So GreenZSaber is fighting the boss, and you can't crouch under the projectiles. Oh no! Don't try to punch him when he's
no GreenZSaber. He's down for the count.
Yeah. What he's gonna need to learn is that when the boss charges up like that, just do not approach.
Ooh, and Chrouya lost his shirt. That's fantastic.
Yeah. He seems a little stunned by that, actually.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, where do I go? Oh, hey. Alas, the time has come. Defensive power is increased. That,
Yeah.
I don't know if that actually does anything, but sounds good.
I do think it actually helps you take less damage.
Oh, okay.
But what really helps you take less damage is just being powered up.
Oh,
Like,
Chrouya trying the walk back move, not happening. Man. But hey, this is really good news because it took a while for all of our previous players to figure out the power-up mechanic, and both Chrouya and GreenZSaber know it at this point.
I agree.
I think we're gonna see both of them.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see at least chapter 2. And that's all I wanted from this race. I wanted to see chapter 2.
You're like, the sole reason I chose this game was to see chapter 2.
I mean, I was expecting at least one person to make it chapter 2, and no one could make it past the boss. Although, what's his name? I can't remember. Was pretty close, but he just couldn't overcome the boss. All right, GreenZSaber.
That was a pretty good strategy, actually. Go trap the boss against the wall and punch him a bunch.
Yeah. So I don't actually know what determines that path being available where you can collect the defensive power. Oh no! Chrouya stayed next to the boss and got a double hit.
That Hadoken, but Chrouya did a little bit of damage, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think that's more than what GreenZSaber has done. So
yeah, for sure.
Technically, Chrouya's ahead, but they're really both in the same spot.
It's very close.
And we're only about 20 minutes in the match, so there's definitely going to be more progress.
This is a good sign.
Than this. Anyway, Devil Rain Proton Dawn to tip out Hokuto no Ken games. That would be interesting. I've heard there's a PS1 Hokuto no Ken beat 'em up that's good, and there's a fighting game by Arc System Works, probably better known for Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue. That it could technically be considered Kusogrand, but it's so endearing because the game is so broken that everyone has an infinite.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, baby.
And there's basketball combos because for whatever reason, there's an exploit in the game that lets you exploit the game's gravity system, where each hit, instead of most games, the gravity gets heavier, the gravity gets lighter, so the opponent just starts bouncing really high per hit.
Wait, seriously?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's beautiful, Mike. I might have to try that sometime.
Yeah. Well, it's actually a really hard game to play at the highest level, and it's still a very imbalanced game, but you know, it's a lot of fun to watch just because it's so ridiculous. Yeah, what GTF says, it's legit a fun game, but no way a well-made game. It's kind of like Japan's Marvel.
Oh, well, good.
Okay, so both Chrouya and GreenZSaber are doing the dungeon.
Okay, GreenZSaber is powered up.
It is worth noting that the Chapter 1 dungeon is the only optional dungeon in the game, and the dungeons are pretty long, so if they learn how to get a path without doing the dungeon, then they would have a quicker route through stage 1, although that would require learning how to defeat the green mid-boss without taking a lot of damage.
Yeah. The thing is, this is a good place to get health back, and like, it takes longer, but I think for a blind playthrough, this dungeon is a good idea.
Yes, I think this is a good play. I think this is a good play for a blind playthrough.
Yeah. GreenZSaber still does not know about attacking projectiles.
Yeah, but Chrouya does. However, neither one seems to know about attacking the falling knives.
That's because you can jump over them.
That's true.
And so they just think that's what you're supposed to do. Like, I wouldn't think about being able... No, honestly, the first time I played this, I thought maybe I should kick the dagger. I did. I guess you should try to hit everything that moves, because if something... You know, it just takes one hit for you to figure it out. Chrouya is doing a pretty good job in the dungeon. GreenZSaber as well, taking a little bit of extra damage, but there's going to be a health refill at the end of the dungeon that will help both of the players. Chrouya doesn't really need it, though.
Yeah, well, GreenZSaber's playing it smart because he knows there's a full health refill.
Oh, yeah.
So he doesn't have to care too much about his health unless it's an emergency status. And since he's traveled all over the stage, unless he wants to get his defensive power up, he's ready to fight the boss.
Now, Glitchless, you're calling it raining rocks nonsense. What about the flying axes?
Yeah, exactly. All this stuff is nonsense. Uh-oh. GreenZSaber, can you make it? Oh no, he got gobbled! Doesn't matter too much because
There's so many axes. Like,
Yep.
seriously, a woodsman's fantasy right here.
So yeah, there's the raining dust nonsense, and dust is some of the most dangerous stuff in the game because there's this one point in the game where you're trying to traverse over pits, and the dust can just knock you into the pits.
Seriously? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, you don't die, you just go back down to the previous floor.
Oh,
but,
wow.
yeah, there are no bottomless pits in this game. The one good thing. Among much bad.
Okay. I'm breathing again. Good. I feel like every once in a while I'm watching some of these areas and I just hold my breath subconsciously because it's so intense. All of the falling dust.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get to intense part. GreenZSaber's gonna fight the boss.
Oh,
he has full
Basta.
health.
Gotta jump.
He needs to learn how to jump over it,
part.
but that's fine. He didn't take much damage.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Oh no! Oh, okay. He only got hit once.
Yes.
That's fine. That's fine.
Is pretty bad.
The problem is he's playing this a bit too tentatively. Like, okay, he's getting some good damage on the boss. Now, what he's gonna need to learn is that you actually need to punch the boss to finish him off, because that's how Fist of the North Star works.
Oh, there we go!
Oh, he got it! He's on the second chapter. Now, he better remember about the continue code, because if he doesn't, then he's going to have to repeat all this again if he dies, because this game only has one life. But he is on the second chapter.
We are to chapter 2. Nice.
And that definitely secures a lead for him, especially as Chrouya is going to take some safety steps.
So why did you want to see chapter 2?
I just wanted to see how the rest of the game would torture them. The funny thing is that chapter 2 is probably easier than chapter 1. But chapter 3 is when the game gets really evil. And there are invisible triggers in this game. The big troll in chapter 2 is that you have to go all the way to the right and then go all the way back to the left again, and it's not really obvious that you're supposed to do that.
It's
okay, and GreenZSaber died. I hope he knows the continue code. He did not continue. I did tell them about the continue code.
Okay, well, that is...
I mean, I don't really feel like telling them about it again, so that's up to him.
No, I wouldn't tell them about it again. If you told him, then that's his option.
Yep. Because, honestly, there's no reason not to continue. The only reason why you wouldn't continue is that when you continue, you're all the way back down to the previous dot from the previous stage, instead of to whatever progress you built up.
Okay.
But that just slows down your powering up a bit.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I like Glitchless's theory. You just wanted to see chapter 2, so you didn't go into Big Bad Game-a-thon totally blind.
Well, I did have to submit a run, so I guess... I mean, it was a pretty fast playthrough for, like, 37 minutes or whatever. And yes, this is a Fist of the North Star game that was localized in the West and stripped all of the references.
I love it. It's pretty funny. Like, here's the deal. Is there any harm keeping the references in, even if people have no idea what they are? It's better than Arzark. Arzak.
Not really. I mean, they probably would have censored the blood anyway. But other than that, wouldn't have been much different. I mean, you wouldn't see enemies' heads decapitated, but... Maybe they didn't want them to see the anime or manga, which is hyper violent. I don't know. Why not just go with Dave instead of Arzak? I don't know, not fantasy enough?
GTF is saying licensing. Do you really want to pay the license to have a game in the US?
That was my question, because there are...
Okay.
Because the licenses for anime and manga in the US are different for what they are in Japan. And so it can be sometimes tied up in multiple companies.
Now, Chrouya is taking on Green Guy again, who has a set pattern with the throw.
Kind of. There is some RNG, but his throws are set in which direction they go. It's always straight up, and then straight down, and then like it goes up on like the 7th or 8th one again. And then by that time, Chrouya's on good progress.
Nice.
And he'll be able to skip the dungeon. So he can definitely catch up to GreenZSaber, who only made it to the end of the first stage, and I think he only got a hit or two on the boss, or the mini-boss.
GreenZSaber is already powered up, though.
That's good.
Yeah, he's managed to find a good way to get powered up quickly, and I think that's going to be essential for both players. Just figure out how to power up ASAP. My bet, Mike, is that GreenZSaber just thought that it was going to be worth getting as much power up before moving on to chapter 2 as possible, so I don't know. That I still would have continued just to see what it was like.
I mean, I did mention the continue code fairly early. Maybe he overlooked it, but that's his problem.
Yeah,
if Chrouya also overlooks it, then I'll post it again in chat. Or not in chat, in Discord.
Automod. That's not a swear. He's talking about holes, okay? He said a hole.
Yeah,
that's all.
Not all holes are inappropriate.
Yeah.
What a gutter mind from Automod. I think I'm learning more gutter, like, gutter words from Automod than, like, it's actually blocking from me.
I know, right?
Okay, Chrouya, you gotta punch. No!
Chrouya!
Chrouya! That's fine,
Come
that's
on,
fine.
Chrouya,
Okay. No! No!
Right there. Right
okay.
There. Is there
That's very close, though.
Is there anything in the manual that talks about you having to punch the boss?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't see anything. The boss. A major battle takes place during every chapter between you and a boss enemy. If you don't defeat him, then he will not be able to advance to the next chapter. Or then you will. He resides in one of the areas displayed in the map screen. When you encounter this boss, his life gauge will be displayed at the bottom of the screen so you can observe who is winning the battle. Wow, thank you. After Chapter 1, it is not possible to enter the boss's area until you have survived several areas. What does that mean?
So it's a very indirect way and pretty much proof that someone who's natively Japanese translate this game, the manual to English, is that it means that certain chapters after Chapter 1 will have invisible triggers.
Oh.
Where you have to go to a certain stage, talk to a certain person before you can fight the boss.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. It is not possible to enter the boss's area until you have survived several areas. You just got to go other places. Okay. You'll find your arrow blocked when you attempt to face the direction where the boss resides. So move towards the direction you're allowed. When you have defeated the final boss in Chapter 4, the game ends. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not going to make it to Chapter 4 at this rate. They can maybe make it to Chapter 3 if they have a good run through Chapter 2. Because Chapter 2's boss is actually easier than Chapter 3's boss. I mean, sorry, Chapter 1's boss.
Yeah, I'm seeing... Okay, Sophia is the Empress behind the Empire. No one knows where she dominates from. But Alyssa is rumored to know the secret because Sophia is Alyssa's mother. Wow.
Wow, what lore for something that we don't even have context for?
I have no idea where she dominates from.
Sinara, the only woman in the ultimate land with a kind heart.
Ultimate land.
Rob, in a desperate attempt to make the ultimate land better for Sinara, he has joined the battle for good.
I like that they have ultimate land in quotes as well. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we know it's not actually ultimate, but whatever.
Yes, Chapter 3's boss is Han.
Daredevil, the boss of the pirates. He is Rob's
Yep.
father. Okay.
What's funny is that they're keeping a lot of it, like, so that Daredevil character is actually, quote-unquote, Rob's father in Fist of the North Star. Except when it comes to Sophia, she's actually Alyssa's twin sister.
Oh.
Ooh.
So lore has been changed a little bit there.
Yeah. Or maybe they just confuse mother and sister, I don't know.
It's all
I'm sure it's a common mistake, you know.
Also, why is everyone related here? It's like Jerry is a bounty hunter with a taste for vengeance, the father of Anne. He has joined the ranks of Arzark. And then Anne's profile says Jerry's daughter. That's literally all.
Yeah, those are the two words for her. Oh, here's a good one. Arzak, our hero.
Our hero. That's all we need to know about him.
He's the people's hero, what can I say?
Also, I like that ZB gets stuck in, like, concrete at the end of the dungeon. I'm not sure why. ZB is apparently Grom's brothers and kung fu experts.
I don't remember the backstory of those guys, but in the original, yeah, they're stuck in concrete too, and then they break out and they do this crazy wild play to defeat the evil Emperor Jacko, which you don't actually see in this game.
Chrouya is getting pretty close to getting powered up. GreenZSaber just powered up.
Yeah.
What's the matter? I want to become a hero. Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, I will say this. Chrouya is very fortunate that GreenZSaber never continued, because then he'd be able to make more progress. And Chrouya is still stuck on Chapter 1.
Oh, yeah. But I think Chrouya is going to be Chapter 1.
I think so, too. He got very close.
Yeah.
The problem is he's going to have to figure out punching the boss, which is honestly not very obvious.
That's so dumb. Like, I understand this is Fist of the North Star. If you're playing a Fist of the North Star game, then it kind of makes sense. But wait, no, there is no Fist of the North Star reference in this game, so how are you supposed to know? We haven't seen the anime. If you have to, like, have an anime...
The typical 80s way, hit buttons until sometimes works. Until somehow it works.
It's just dumb. You gotta have it written somewhere. Chrouya gonna get the defense up. Like, why does talking to a girl increase your defense?
Why is anything anything?
Why are axes flying around in this room?
That's a good question. Whoever made this dungeon must have enough money, a lot of money, because
yes, I'm going to pull out my rustic axe collection.
Yeah, they could afford many axes and an axe shooter, and somehow be able to make them boomerang.
See, if this were Dwarf Fortress, like, I would totally buy that, because you can have axe traps all over the place, but I don't see any dwarfs here. Except for the green guy who you explode his head, but he's the only one. Maybe he set up all the traps.
Yeah. Okay, so GreenZSaber's on the boss again. He's doing well. He doesn't seem to realize that you actually have to punch him either, even though that's what he did the last time. Okay, now he does.
There we go.
So, someone made a good point. Mr. Sansini mentioned Black Belt, which is actually another game that was translated to the West, which was a Hokuto no Ken game. It's based on the first half, not the second half like this one is. And that's actually a pretty good game.
Really?
It's nothing spectacular, but it's just a nice, short, like, side-scrolling beat-em-up game that's pretty fun. It's mostly the same as Black Belt, aside from the removed Fist of the North Star references, except, like, they removed all the platforms, so everything's just on a flat plane, which is a little weird. So it's a little easier than the Fist of the North Star game.
I'm a little bit... Oh, this guy is just a reskin of Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
These spears, though, someone is just standing in the corner throwing spears.
But GreenZSaber made it through, so...
Nice.
Let's see which way he goes.
To the left.
That is the wrong way, but that's not really too much of a concern. I think you get a power-up if you go this way.
There's a little girl. Take revenge on behalf of my mother. Wow.
Was that Anne? Because she meant father.
Chrouya trying to fight the boss here. Being a little bit difficult. I know Chrouya is trying lots of punches here.
Yeah, Chrouya is not in a good spot.
Yeah, that is not much health. Ooh, one more hit and Chrouya is down for the count.
Yeah, he's playing this really carefully.
The boss is just hopping back and forth. I love it.
Oh no. Okay. Okay, he knows how to dodge the attacks at least, and he just gets punched in the face.
Sucker punch. Okay, GreenZSaber moseying on over.
Yeah.
Already powered up.
He's making progress. The only concern is that he could die to the second boss, because while the second boss is easy, he does do a lot of damage if he manages to hit you, and GreenZSaber won't know how to fight him initially, so he might be kind of conservative, when the trick is to just jump kick at him super aggressively, and you'll hit him multiple times.
Okay, we'll have to see what he does. I really love that every enemy just flies off the screen after you punch them.
Yeah, so in the Japanese version, if you punch them, they not only fly off the screen, but you end up decapitating them.
Seriously, American censorship.
Which is funny, because now Japanese games tend to have less blood than the American versions, but you know.
It's true.
Alright, so here's the second boss.
Okay.
Oh no, he's trying the punching strat. That's not a good idea. Just jump kick him. Just jump kick him, GreenZSaber. I know you have to finish him off with punch, but just jump kick him. Okay, that's better.
GreenZSaber.
You really just want to repeatedly jump kick him over and over again. But I think GreenZSaber is playing this cautiously because he's low in health.
Yeah, with the amount of health, I don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't blame him either. Yep, this is Falco from Fist of the North Star, and he's dead.
Well, Falco just took him down.
I don't think he knows about the continue, even though I told them about the continue.
I think you're right.
But that's his problem, not mine. I did give them the continue code to make this game more merciful, so they could actually make progress once they've, made progress.
Let me go. Yeah, Chrouya replied to you when you put the continue code in there, but I do not see a reply from GreenZSaber, so he probably just skipped over it. But it's definitely there. I see it.
Yep. So for those of you who want to know, you just hold A, B, all three buttons, A, B, and C, and then you hit start. You do this at the title screen, if I remember correctly, or what passes for a title screen, and then what you'll see is you'll see each chapter. It'll start in chapter 1, and then you just go up to the chapter you're currently on. You do go to the beginning of the chapter, so if you're at the end of the chapter, you still lose a lot of progress. but it's still better than going all the way back to the beginning of the game. However, GreenZSaber still has a healthy lead, and Chrouya is going to need to beat the first boss soon to be able to catch up to GreenZSaber. However, if Chrouya does beat the first boss soon, I think he could make a lot of progress into stage 2.
Oh, so Cadus actually has another theory. GreenZSaber might not realize that he's going to chapter 2.
That is true, but it is very distinct that you're in a different area.
But it is the same map.
It is the same map. And the game's manual actually points out the areas of each chapter.
I mean, yeah, it does.
I mean, I gave them the game, I gave them the manual, and I told them about the continue code, so that's on GreenZSaber, not me.
Yeah, they can figure out when the next chapter starts.
Yep.
Okay, GreenZSaber gonna go get the defense up.
Yep. And Royal Blue Wizard, you cannot, because those higher tiers of power are actually just powering up per chapter. You can, however, go past each dot a little bit in each chapter, until chapter 4, obviously, because that just means the bar is maxed out.
Yeah, could you possibly fill the entire bar here, or is there a limit for how much you can fill before the next chapter?
There is a limit for how much you can fill before the next chapter. You can fill it up to about a third of the way to the second dot.
Okay.
In chapter 1. It's similar to that for chapter 3. Except for the third dot. And likewise in chapter 4. What about Chrouya? Oh, going through the dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a great move since he's already powered up and he has plenty of health.
I understand being worried about the boss, though.
I do too.
Ooh, GreenZSaber. Now, GreenZSaber just hit one of the stationary boulders.
Yep. Yeah, so the stationary boulders can actually combo you if it's perfectly spaced with another stationary boulder. And then you just get infinited to death. It's pretty special.
It's so good.
It requires... It's only in specific spots where that happens, but it can happen. And it's really terrible when it does.
Chrouya is starting to make their way through the dungeon and getting pretty close to the end. Now, I forget, I know that you can get health upgrades in this game. I don't know if you get one at the end of this dungeon, or where the health upgrades happen.
So you restore health at the end of chapters, at the end of dungeons like this one, and you restore a bit of your health after mini-bosses.
Okay.
Now, you can get health extensions, which don't restore any health. You just get a longer health bar, which is a real jip.
Well, I mean, at least you can fill it up later. I guess. Chrouya damage boosting a little bit. I like it.
I mean, it's a smart play to get through this area a little faster. He doesn't really have to worry about health now, especially since he knows that the end just restores his health.
Oh, yeah.
Now, he and GreenZSaber are in pretty similar spots. The problem is that GreenZSaber has defeated this boss once.
Yeah.
And Chrouya has not.
Well,
GreenZSaber definitely knows about punching to kill bosses now. Or at least this boss.
Yep. Chrouya playing it safe again.
Okay, this is actually... he's kind of doing the strat. You just wait until the boss leaps towards you, and then you hit him. The problem is he's trying the crouch kick, which is actually really slow when he should just punch him, because punching is fast.
Yeah, watch it.
But he seems convinced that crouch kicking is the way to go, probably because it worked once and he thinks it's the best. So it's just how it goes.
Well, that's how blind races go sometimes. If you find something that works, it's better than finding the best way to do it. Sometimes. Okay, Chrouya is almost through this boss. Not gonna be able to finish it without a punch, though.
Yeah, I think he realized I hope he realized he needs to do something. No, he's still crouch kicking. That's really bad. Just punch. Please punch, Chrouya. No, stop doing that. Just punch. Just punch. Please just punch. You have the right approach. You just need to punch.
Come on, Chrouya.
You punch.
Yes, there we
go.
Yes! GreenZSaber taken to death. That might make it difficult for GreenZSaber to catch back up. But
yeah,
this
he
is
doesn't know
a good sign for Chrouya.
And Chrouya definitely acknowledged in the Discord that he saw the continue, and he sees Chapter 2. So it is very obvious he is in Chapter 2. So he better learn how to continue. And if he knows how to continue, then I think GreenZSaber might be done.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Oh my gosh. This
Chrouya just has to make it to that boss and get more than like... GreenZSaber got a couple of hits. Oh, I didn't realize that you don't actually restore all your health after the Chapter 1 boss, which is a bit of a problem. But fortunately, since he read the Discord, he should just continue after this. And if he doesn't, then he's kind of done. But and if he realizes that this boss is similar to the other one and dodges those spears, which he doesn't know about.
Those spears, I'm not surprised about
Chrouya
that.
had the right idea. He tried to do a can-can kick. It just came out too slowly.
Yeah.
Let's see if he continues.
Oh, there he goes.
He continued. This is interesting because even though he doesn't have a lot of time, he still has a little under 10 minutes, and I think that's enough to get up to the boss and get at least like 3 or 4 hits on him, which is pretty much all he'd need.
Yeah. This is a lot closer than I expected.
Same here.
Yeah, and it should be relatively easy to keep trying this part over and over again with the continue section. So I see, yeah, it's very reasonable that Chrouya could come back and take the victory. Just gotta kill this dummy and not get hit by the ice spears. I don't even know why there are these flying spears. Does he have an accomplice? He's like, hey, somebody throw some spears at this muscle dude.
Sure. I don't even remember this guy in the S&M gear being part of the plot either.
Okay, where is Chrouya gonna go?
Okay. If he goes... He might want to backtrack a bit before fighting Falco, but he doesn't know where he's going yet.
Yeah,
so,
it's not super obvious where you need to go.
It's not obvious at all, which is one of the reasons why this game is so stupid. This game just has a ton of arbitrary triggers on, like, how to make progress. However, I am pretty confident that even if Chrouya dies here or on the boss, he will have at least one more chance to get to the boss.
Yeah.
Which makes this a very, very interesting match.
Yeah, I still have no idea what's going to happen. It's going to be difficult for Chrouya to make a comeback, but it's possible. It's within
possible.
Yeah.
Those motorcycles are giving him a lot of trouble because he's not powered up, though.
Okay, going right. Is this Falco?
Not quite. This is quote-unquote the dungeon, but you can't go to the dungeon until you defeat Falco. Okay, he's gonna get stomped.
Oh, yeah.
He has no chance.
Wow!
So... that's technically less progress than GreenZSaber, because GreenZSaber, I don't remember how many hits he got in the boss, but he got at least a couple.
Yes. So Chrouya has one last shot. I think mostly Chrouya needs to power up before getting to that boss.
Yes, if Chrouya goes left, then goes then goes back here, or goes right and then delays a bit before he fights Falco, then he has a good chance. And he doesn't even need to beat Falco. He just needs to get more hits than GreenZSaber did, which,
yes,
if I remember correctly, was 2 or 3.
Oh my gosh, this is definitely a race. Oh, come on. I love to see last minute changes. I'm not cheering against GreenZSaber because I love the kid, but I get really excited when there's the possibility of somebody just taking that last minute victory. I'm cheering for drama. Yeah, that's right. Everybody, I'm here for the drama. That's my life. Okay, Chrouya gonna be taking the up direction here.
Yeah, so there's only about 5 or so minutes left.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing. Now, GreenZSaber is on the boss and could technically make it up to Falco again.
Oh, wow.
So that makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, what the crap? How is this such a good match right now, Mike?
Oh, I know, for such a stupid, slow game.
Not only that, but GreenZSaber already has part of the power gauge filled due to...
So that's the advantage of not dying, is that you don't have to start at the dot. You start with whatever progress you already had. Okay, Chrouya's backtracking a bit. That's smart.
Not able to just go off the ride.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Power up is happening like right now.
Yeah, exactly. And when he's powered up, he'll take less damage, so he won't be taking much damage even if he's hit. And he'll be able to actually fight Falco.
Yeah.
Now, Chrouya's been fighting the bosses very conservatively, but so was GreenZSaber.
There we
So
go.
I don't know
Power
if he'll learn the power of jump kick, because I haven't seen either one of them jump kick very much.
Yeah, you're right.
And jump kicking is like the best move in this game.
With only 4 minutes left, though, I think that they're pretty much set in their move set.
In their ways, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Chrouya jump punching, but not jump kicking, which is really strange that he was trying out everything but the jump kick.
Oh yeah, jump kicks are my jam. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I want to do. I wonder if Chrouya's going to go the bottom route.
And he does. It doesn't really matter which route you go here. I hope Chrouya tries to at least jump kick those motorcycles, because that makes him so much easier. He is having a bit of trouble.
There
and
we
losing
go.
a lot of health. The knives.
There we go.
Oh,
The
he
jump
learned how to jump
kicks.
kick. That's a good
jump
sign.
kicks.
But there is one issue. This is pretty much his last shot at the boss. I think if he dies, he doesn't have enough time to get up all the power again and then
You're
fight the
definitely
boss.
right, yeah. Also,
But GreenZSaber is not too far away from the boss himself. Uh-oh,
Chrouya's going
no! That is a route you take after you defeat the boss, but Chrouya doesn't know that. I think that pretty much seals the match.
Possibly. Let's keep watching. I have...
Yes, at least they're not green dog knives. Royal Blues.
Oh my gosh, Green Dog.
What a game.
It was developed. A game.
Yep. A licensed game, no less.
Crap, those spears.
Yeah. Don't go down
Don't
there
go
again,
down
Chrouya.
again. Don't do it.
You only have 2 choices.
Go to the boss. Okay. Chrouya has a chance.
Good.
Oh, GreenZSaber's
Oh,
going down.
GreenZSaber! The detour! That
Killing
means
me, Mike.
GreenZSaber. This is Chrouya's chance. The problem.
Chrouya. Let's see what Chrouya does.
No, don't go back. Don't go back. Go right.
Yeah, good.
Yes. Okay, you have a chance.
Okay, Chrouya's
Now-
last chance.
Yeah,
It's
this
the
is
last
his last
battle.
chance.
This is the last battle.
No, don't walk into his face.
Okay, gotta
Okay.
crouch kick. Another crouch kick. Oh my gosh. I don't know.
No, stop the crouch kicking. Just one more hit.
Okay, another
He
crouch
might
kick hit.
win.
Another one?
He's won. I'm pretty sure he's won. We'll have to review the VODs, but I'm 90% sure that Chrouya's won because I think GreenZSaber only hit him 2 or 3 times.
I think so. But we'll definitely have to check the VODs on that. That was good stuff. Aha, Cadis has clips, so he's going to compare. We only have 1 minute left. GreenZSaber could technically go back to the boss.
If GreenZSaber goes to the right and gets 5 hits in the boss, he definitely wins.
That's all he needs to do. GreenZSaber, you have less than a minute. Go.
Okay.
Go. Boogie.
Go. The problem is he'll pretty much die in 1 or 2 hits. I think he can survive 1 hit.
No! Why are you going this way? GreenZSaber, no!
No! Well, that's all the progress they'll make in the match.
What a game.
What a video game. Hey, at least people made it to chapter 2 this time. That's all I wanted.
Oh my gosh. And we got to see Falco, so that's cool.
What's ironic is that he's actually really easy, but because they had to play so conservatively in the first boss, they don't know that you can just jump kick Falco in the face repeatedly, and his hurt box is so tall that it'll take multiple hits from close-up jump kicks.
Okay. No, I almost got the timer, Mike. It's always super close, but unfortunately, nope, 1/100th of a second off. But that's okay because time, we are done with this match. And what a match this has been. Wow. Last battle, a lot tenser than I think we expected.
Definitely. I mean, that's one that we're actually going to have to go back into the archives to look at, because while I was paying attention to GreenZSaber's stream when he got to Falco, I don't remember exactly how many hits he got. I do know that Chrouya got 4 hits.
Hello, Chrouya. Welcome in.
Oh my god, I died to the first boss.
I like how you want to swear, but you can't swear here.
Oh man, but Chrouya, you... You might
have won. The thing is, you both got up to the same boss, the second boss, who was actually not the end of chapter 2. But the thing is, there's one thing that gave you a big advantage. You actually read my instructions in Discord, and you knew how to continue. GreenZSaber didn't.
Oof.
Yeah. Okay, I'm bringing GreenZSaber in right now. Hello! Maybe you're there. I see your icon lighting up. Hello?
Hello.
Oh man, that was a game. That is a testament as to why you need a live system in that game.
So GreenZSaber, there is something kind of funny. If you read the Discord more closely, I actually gave you guys a continue code after you beat chapter 1. I don't think you read it.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
It was right below the manual. Like, I gave you the game and the manual, and then I gave you the continue code, and Chrouya responded, and you never did.
It's, it wouldn't be the first time we've had death by instructions, but Cadis is reviewing the VODs to see who dealt more damage.
So here's the thing. It's all down to how many hits you got on Falco, or whatever his name is in this game, because it's actually Fist of the North Star, but they completely changed all the names for the localization. They changed the colors of the bosses.
Oh yeah,
and there's no blood. So like,
how was it that close?
It was so close.
Yeah. So because Chrouya got 4 hits on Falco, and I think you got 3, but I'm not sure how many you got.
It also depends on how strong the hits were.
That's true.
I went for low kicks all the time.
So what's funny is, Chrouya, is that low kicks are some of the worst moves in the game. You could have done the same thing with just standing punches. And that's way faster.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I just felt I had a little more reach. Or at least dodging his attacks.
Ah, fair. Yeah, so what's actually funny about that boss is you both probably felt like you had to play conservatively because the first boss was so hard. But what you actually just do is that you just jump kick him in the face repeatedly, and his hurt box is so tall that if you're close enough, you'll actually hit him multiple times.
I was trying to do that, but it wasn't.
We have a confirmation, by the way, from Cadus, who says Chrouya took the boss's life bar lower, and that means that you took a victory right at the end. That was great.
Yeah, I was like 55 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was.
It was past 55 minutes. It was like 58 minutes or something.
I went to the boats and it just sent me back, and I was like, am I supposed to go back to this boss now?
So let me tell you how stupid this game is. What you do is that you go fight Falco, then you go back to that stage that was just looked like a long passageway, but it actually turns into a dungeon when you go on the way back. And then you beat that dungeon, and then you go down to the boat area in then chapter 3.
So it turns into that labyrinth. Yeah, it looked like a rat labyrinth when I entered, but I was like, I can't enter this. I'm like,
Yeah, so what's really dumb about the game is that there's a lot of hidden invisible triggers, and that's one of them. Although that one's not too bad, because at least, you know, once you get to that dungeon, it's pretty easy to just make progress from there. But like, chapter 3 and 4 get really bad about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just both of the times that you... let's see, GreenZSaber and Chrouya, that you went down to the boat, I think we were yelling over here. We're like, no! No! Don't go that way! It was a fun watch.
It was. So what is your reaction to that game?
I'm honestly surprised it was close, despite not knowing the code or not being aware of it.
I just felt stuck on chapter 1 for so long. I guess the boss needed a punch hit to finish off, because I tried so many jump attacks.
So here's the thing about Fist of the North Star lore. If you ever watch the show, notice that Kenshiro does, you know, the Hyakuretsuken, you know, the 100 crack fist, and then, you know, he goes, what's that?
When he started punching rapidly, like, as like the cutscene starts, I'm like, oh, of course.
But it's not obvious at all, and the manual doesn't say anything about it.
You were so close to dying,
in fact, the manual gets some things wrong. Yeah, in fact, you were very fortunate to beat the boss that time, because if you didn't beat the boss then you wouldn't have had a chance in the match, so...
Yeah, I don't know. There were so many good moments in this match, though. I'm sad to say, GreenZSaber, you are out of the tournament. You do win up to $10 in Steam games. Just hit me up sometime when you know what you want, as well as Fateful Findings by Neil Breen. Classic movie if you haven't seen it. Okay, cool. Oh, but yeah, I'm really glad that you joined, and it was fantastic meeting you at RPG Limit Break. And I hope that you come back for the next tournament.
We'll see. I'm kind of busy right now. I wasn't really into it today.
Oh, well, it's understandable, but you did fantastic, man. Chrouya, you will be moving on to the next round. In the losers bracket, the next round specifically is not another platformer, which means it's going to be a game that's not a platformer.
I think I like that one. I like that.
You like that?
I mean, this game's technically not a platformer.
I mean, technically.
This was not a platformer.
There's some platforming. There are platforming elements.
I guess, yeah.
Oh yeah, the boxes, I guess, and all the freaking arrows and axes.
And axes. Did you like the boomerang axes? It's a nice touch.
Man, the axes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that was some nice pinball action right there.
I'm a little disappointed that no one got infinitely comboed by a still boulder. Because that is possible.
Oh yeah, it's very possible. Well, I think it is time for us to go. I'm going to have to go get food and get ready because classes start tomorrow.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I get to go. I gotta finish up the little last bits of my schedule for the class, and then I should be good. But let's go raid. I believe High Spirits is still doing his marathon. Do we have a good raid message? I mean, we could do... kind of like it.
Wata!
Wata? How do you spell that?
Yeah, that would work. I'll spell it, sure.
Probably just
Yeah, Royal Blue Wizard has it close enough, so we'll just
Okay,
use
that's
that.
good. Go ta. High Spirits will like it. Thank you again for being here today, and thank you, Mike, for choosing the game, and really thank you for Cadis for all the help that you've given behind the scenes. Koal for the video. I'll see you all later this week.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
Mhm.